Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. You got Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Your miles must be blooming because you guys are traveling everywhere.
Yes, rocking the miles. I'm grateful for that.
And I just saw you. I was in Savannah last week.
Oh yes, I did see you. Yeah, that's where I was last. I saw
But we're here now. We're talking about Nanny. Obviously, there's a lot of issues in this movie in terms of what departments you're talking about, and one of them is the domestic workers that's displayed in this movie. So for each one of you, how did you connect to for you, Nikyatu, in terms of putting the story together, and for Anna, how did you relate to the character?
So for me, this is very loosely based on my mother's story. So I'm first generation American, Sierra Leonean family, born and raised in Atlanta, but I did watch my mother do pieces of domestic work growing up. And I always wondered, and she also did a lot of domestic work in her later years before she retired, caring for people in their last stages of their life. And so I just always felt like she had to subdue her own brilliance and her own hopes and dreams and her own aspirations of being a novelist to do these jobs that I always felt like were beneath her. But the reality is that this is the work that is most accessible, not only for Black and brown immigrant women, but for Black American women historically during enslavement. And so historically, you would think we would see more films outside of The Help that navigate what this world could look like, especially for the children who are products of parents like that. And so that was the springboard. I knew I didn't want to tell a straightforward drama. I knew I wanted magical horror elements incorporated in West African folklore incorporated and introduced to an audience. So that was the confluence of inspiration that brought this together.
And you, Anna?
Yeah, I connected to the character because there's so many parallels between Aisha and my own mother. My mother left Senegal and she moved to Houston, and she did that when I was almost 6 years old. And she does it for the same reason Aisha does, which was to try to build a better life for us. And so, yeah, there were so many personal connections that I have to this. I've known Aisha, I've known this woman almost my whole life, really. Not almost my whole life, I've known my mother the entirety of my life. And I also connected to a lot of Aisha's experience just personally, the experience of guilt and leaving home and missing that home, the experience of navigating a new place. As a young girl, I had a lot of experience that way, but even still now, I'm still navigating a place that I sometimes feel is a bit foreign and confusing and confounding, to be honest. And so, yeah, I related to her on more than any other character I've ever played.
And to wrap it up, obviously there's the topic of mental health in this, which is in the last few years has become a big topic. Were you aware of that when you try to throw that issue in the film?
Well, I didn't throw anything into the film. Everything was carefully crafted. Yes. No, I'm joking. It definitely was intentional. Mental wellness is something that we often in this society, utilize as political talking points, but nothing is necessarily being done around the prevalence of mental unwellness. And so mental illness runs in my family. And, most recently, I'm excited about the conversations happening around who to call outside of the police when you have a family member, particularly a Black family member who's having a mental break, because we've had instances where the police show up and kill mentally ill people instead of helping them. So I'm excited about the conversations that are happening because there's a lot of work to be done around that.
Well, congratulations on your first big film. Congratulations, Anna, on your first big lead role that a lot more people will see you in. Keep it going. I'm always here to support. Have a great day.
Thank you, Wilson.
Thank you, Wilson.
Have a good one.